Alright, so I've had a bit of a day dealing with our propeller. So I've taken off the cone, which looks a little bit on the worst side. Then there's the prop, which I don't know if you can see that. It's in a really, really sorry state. You'll see the pitting is really quite bad. So got a quote for a new one today. That's going to be to the song of £300 for a new prop, and then I think it's another £100 for the cone to get replaced. And then our anode wasn't in too bad shape, but on the back it does not look so good. So we'll get another one of those. That's only a little 20 bucks, but I'll show you where that's all come from on the bottom of the Saildrive here. So it's fantastic getting it all off. So we're gonna drop the leg, take the bellows gasket off, and we'll be doing the boot seal soon. Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Billows. In this episode, it's gonna be a heavy feature for me. It's me taking apart and maintaining our Saildrive, which had gotten a little bit unloved over the years. I hope you enjoy it. It is quite a long one because I somehow managed to just film lots. So well done if you do make it to the end. If not, I won't be offended. Yeah. Job for today is drain the oil out of the Saildrive and the transmission. So I've come up onto the boat. I'm gonna undo the filler cap and the dipstick up here so that the air can come in and fill the space. I'm gonna undo the drain plug down on the bottom of the Saildrive. I'll show you that in a minute. Oil there, it's very milky. We've clearly had the seal that's in here has obviously gone, so I've already got those. I had a feeling that we'd have to replace those, so that'll be the next job, is replacing the seals in the Saildrive.
Nick, what did you just get out?
We managed to get the flipping bearing housing out of the bottom. I think this must be the first time it's ever been removed, because holy moly, that was a battle. I've been doing this. Lucy's managed to sand basically the whole of this side on the waterline in the time it's taken for me to get this out of the bottom of the Saildrive. Today is engine moving day, which is scaring the living daylight out of me, but I've got a few things to get through. Many things to get through, starting with removing all the cables. So like our throttle cable, gear cable, shut-off cable. Got to remove the raw water pipes. I mean, they need replacing anyway. Then I've got to remove all the wiring and the fuel lines, and then I should be able to, fingers crossed, start to shuffle the engine forward. I'm going to put some chocks underneath the front of the engine and we'll go from there. Starting here, remove the shifter cable. Then we're going to go over this side, remove the two throttle cable and the shut-off cable. Then I've got to get rid of all these connections. I mean, this one's already off, but the raw water connections, there's two more, one there. To get rid of those. Then all this wiring, so I've got to take the wire off the back of the alternator, the starter, the main loom here, and then the engine negative, just the neutral just here, and that should be all the wiring done. And I've just got to shut off the fuel and remove these 1 and 2 fuel lines, and then that should mean I can undo these two engine mounts just here and here. I'm going to put some Sharpie around these so that I know where I'm going, and put some blocks in front of here and here, so hopefully I'll be able to pull the whole engine that way. So we're forwards and the engine's sat on its chocks. Another wedge under there. So I'm going to try and get the Saildrive out. It's 4 o'clock and I'd quite like to be done by 5, so we'll give it an hour and see whether I can get this Saildrive out. Been an absolutely mega day today. We managed to get the Saildrive out. Jude from Boat Care came and helped, and David from next door was kind enough to also give us some assistance. So David pushed from the bottom and Jude and I manhandled the thing back into the cabin. So I don't know if you can see that right there, but that is the floor. And by the floor I mean the outside floor. So the Saildrive used to be. And the Saildrive is now sat quite nicely at the bottom of the stairs, ready for me to take it down tomorrow. But like I said, tomorrow, too much for me to do today. So really happy with how it went today. Big sense of achievement. Feeling proud. Today's the day we are taking apart the Saildrive. I've already shimmied it down the ladder, which was a bit sketchy, but we're down. It's not too heavy, it's all right. So I've taken out the bolts on the bottom. We've had a couple of sticky ones, one down here and one on the opposite side. But I'm gonna see if I can do this one-handed. Give it a brilliant wingle, bangle. Come on, you, back up. Hey. Oh, there we go. Haha, psych. I already got it off, but you can see that there was a little gasket we've got to replace. And then I've taken out the shims just in case so that I don't lose them. But the reason why we're doing this is I want to look through the water inlet channel, which is just there. And if I lift it up off the floor, you're supposed to be able to see daylight through there, and there's so much growth that there's nothing in it. So I've just got to take this plate off as well, and then we'll take the rubber donut off. So it's a donut removing a donut. This donut is supposed to be replaced every 7 years as a service life, but people often leave them on for longer than that. And ours, I don't know if you can see, there's a little number just here, and that says 02. So this was installed when the boat was made, so this has never been changed, which explains why I've come into a few issues with how difficult some stuff was to get off the Saildrive. So it's now in several pieces. So got the gearbox there, then the donut goes underneath, so that needs a little bit of a clean up, and then this is the plate that holds the donut, and then here is the leg, and that also needs a good clean. So plenty for me to do today. Here's the Saildrive leg. I filled it with white vinegar for a couple of days, and then I used a ruler taped to a screwdriver to scrape the inside out. And when you see the light at the bottom, that shows that I managed to get the stuff out that I was looking for. So, got my O-ring ready, the donut's on. I haven't screwed it on yet, but I need to put some, just going to put some oil on this O-ring. Hopefully I won't get it everywhere, but we'll see. Put it in the captain, there we go. Nice engine oil. There we go. One nice and wet O-ring. Should we go? Do a little bit of gasket surgery. I've just cut around the edges where I wasn't happy with it, because the last thing I want is to have the gasket deteriorate in these water and oil channels, and then all of a sudden I've got bits of paper gasket flying around in my gearbox and bits of paper going through my cooling system, and I don't want anything to get blocked up after I've spent all this time and effort getting it up to snuff. So I suppose all that's left is to put the big bit on and tighten down the screws. So the reason I'm putting Permatex on is just because when I took it apart it looked like it had some on, so I'm gonna put it back to where I found it, just in the hopes that if I do the stuff that it came with from the factory, it should be in pretty good stead. So just put some of this mating base on the bottom of the leg, and then we'll go from there. Popping a couple of bolts in loosely, just to try and hold them together whilst I just put this in a better position for me to torque it all up. So I had a bit of a frustrating day yesterday with how heavy that Saildrive is to move up and down and get it in the hole and stuff. I've absolutely trashed the paint that I spent so many days getting it ready, and never mind. What the plan is now is I've had to retake the Saildrive out because I forgot to put the lock wire on the bottom, so you'll see some footage of that no doubt. But now it's in. I've got the locking plate is now, let me show you. Locking plate is indexed, so there are all these holes, and obviously when it slides on the big donut I can't index the direction of the Saildrive because this needs to be perfectly perfect for it to mount up back to old Mr. Engine. So the back part is where the mount is, and this is actually the third engine mount here, so I'm hoping I've got some rope underneath so I can cant the Saildrive forward and backwards. So I'm hoping that between that and good old-fashioned bit of elbow grease, there we go, a bit more light in here, old-fashioned bit of elbow grease, I'll be able to join our engine back to our Saildrive. But I'm going to take my time, and if it gets too much I will take a break because it's a lot. So the purpose of this lock wire is to stop the nuts from coming undone. The Saildrive, when we're cranking the engine, has got a lot of vibration, and although the nuts run quite tight, there is always a risk that they will come undone. So the locking wire kind of threads through the heads of the bolts, and then you twist it together, and its job is to basically stop those heads from being able to come undone at all. It's an exciting day. Let's put together the Saildrive day. Saildrive's back in the boat and bolted in. You can see I've taken the rope off. It's all in the right place. So let's see what we took off initially. Took off the old anode, the old prop cone, the old prop, which is pitted quite badly in places, and we just didn't like the look of it. So the new stuff, got a new prop, exactly the same. It's aluminium, which means it will eventually go exactly like that one did, but when the budget's not friendly to a £1,300 prop, then it's not friendly, so we have to get on. New prop cone, and then fresh anode. Here's the prop shaft. It's not very long, but that's it. And we've got the new lip seals in there, the brown lip seals, driven home with some sealant, and I've just got to put some new O-rings in these channels. Soak them in a bit of oil first. So I've got my oil, ratchet. Let's get going. Obviously every tool, the right tool for the job is always a hammer, and every tool is a hammer, so alright. You can put some Loctite on these and then they'll be good to go. Don't know if you can see that, but basically there's no lever point for the back of the engine, and I need to get the back of the engine slightly higher. I had been propping it up with the bottom of the oil pan, but now the support for that has fallen away, as in that part of the sump is not supported where the engine normally sits. So got some head scratching to do. Probably need a second pair of hands, I suppose, so we'll wait for Lucy. So I need to get that last bit of engine movement out the way, and I am figuring out that, okay, maybe best place to lever the engine, because I need the back to come forward and then the front to go backwards. I've think I've figured out how I'm going to lift the back of the engine whilst pushing it forward at the same time. Sorry, pushing it back at the same time so that the Saildrive mates with the whatever it's supposed to mate with. So I need to stop saying so much. It's my crutch word. My plan is I'm going to do a bit of rodeo. So I'll show you. I've got a line attached to the lifting eye, which is over the center point of the engine, so I should be able to lean it towards me, and then I'm going to put my feet on the two engine mounts and give it a good old heave-ho. I think that's done it. One of the last steps in putting the Saildrive back in is to glue this rubber seal. It's not really for holding out any water. The main goal of this little seal is to try and stop any of the big crustaceans getting in there and setting up home. So it's held in with some Sikaflex, and I make an absolute pig's ear out of it, as you're about to see. It is very cold. I'm crying because of the cold, but I'm also crying because of how beautiful my shitey Sikaflex job is. I mean, I've been rolling it out, squeezed out all around. As long as it's sealed, I don't really mind. So that'll do. And we've got the, thanks to David, that's why I didn't film. I didn't want to film David, you know, give people their privacy. But you know, similar sort of thing. Squeeze out's gone kind of everywhere, but that's well and truly cranked on. And we've popped the rudder on this stand. Just we'll have to drop it out again just to glue in the aluminium tube. But that was just to make sure that the rudder actually lined up with the bearings at the top, so that we knew that the bearing had gone in straight. Gosh, that feels like I've done. The adrenaline's starting to wear off now because those are the jobs I was most nervous about. That and the Saildrive, of course. So I'll do some tidying up now, I think, and just double check I've done everything on the engine. I might go and see the dog actually and make sure she's okay. It's been quite windy the past couple of days and she was a bit spooked this morning. She threw up just because it was scary. So I'll pack up and go and see her. Joining me on a night session. So I've brought the car nice and close, I'll plug it in. I'm going to try and get the prop sorted, do some more engine-y bits on the inside and perhaps give the boat a little bit of a tidy, given that the sucker bomb has gone off in there. So you can tell we're still learning how to do this whole video thing. I just stopped filming at that point for some reason, so that was the prop being back on board the Saildrive, so that was the, suppose that's the job finished. We're hoping we won't have to take that out again for some years now. Now it's been painted, resealed. I suppose we'll drain the oil when we next take her out, but that's just the normal maintenance of that. So congratulations on being one of the few who made it to the end of the video. We'll see you on the next one. I think we're going to do a video about the rudder and I mean, that's still an ongoing thing that I'm thinking about still to this day. So we'll put a video out about it. Why not? See you on the next one.